I want to talk about sexual purity. You don't talk about it in the house. The church does not talk about it. The school is not talking about it. So I will talk about it today. Sex is a gift. I will not use funny terms. I'll use the terms that I know, okay? Yeah. Sex is a gift of God to the married. Underline that. When people are wedding and you're buying glasses, you're buying hot pots, God is thinking about a gift of what? Of sex. It's the best he could give to the married. There's a gift of God to the married for pleasure and for procreation, for reproduction. So there's no way two women can give birth together. And there's no way two men can give birth together. We accept homosexuality, the society becomes extinct because there's no more reproduction. Allow me to demystify the thought that sex is bad. I'm talking to the young people. Sex is so good, you just don't know. Let no one lie to you and tell you it's tabia mbaya. God never blesses his children with bad things. It is the best thing. You just have no idea. It is good because it is God-given. But I want you to understand that for every perfect gift of God, there is a perfect counterfeit from the devil. For instance, God gave man a perfect day of worship, but the devil has brought in a perfect counterfeit day of worship, which is on Sunday, a spurious Sabbath. The Lord gave us Saturday, Sabbath of the Lord, a day of worship, perfect. There is a perfect counterfeit from the devil. Sunday keeping, a spurious Sabbath. There is no gift of God that does not have a perfect counterfeit from the devil. And so when I talk to those that are about to get married, and someone is asking, how do I know this is the woman? How do I know this is the man? You are allowed to come with your checklist. You are allowed, but put it in your pocket. Say, she must be light-skinned. You thought we don't breathe if we are dark. Are we missing one tooth? She must have a master's degree. You know, she must be slender. Have you heard our stupid girl talks from campus? Minute after Jama, I'm tall. Hey. I'm dark. Akona base. Hey. Chuoma short be ungetab. And you know, in her innocence, she thinks she'll find. There's one more. She say, "Ako financially stable." Then she happens to find one who's tall, base, dark, but is poor. When God gives you a woman, say a good wife comes from the Lord. When he gives you a woman, that gift is perfect. You don't sit to begin and say, black, tick. So you use your checklist when the woman has come to tell you whether they are from God or they are from who? The devil. So the principles we share when you're looking for a spouse is not for you to begin searching. It's for you to use when finally they come to be able to gauge whether it is perfect or it's a counterfeit. Are we together? Yes. It's possible that you can get an Adventist. It's possible you can get a man 6 years older than you. You can get a man who knows how to divide the word of God rightly. But it's possible that same man is someone's husband. So that technically throws him out. Then said, me, I just feel I am in love with him. To me, nimempenda tu. Hey, in marriage, people don't slay. Unless you're staying with a sponsor, slaying is easy. But when you're staying with your husband, you can't slay. You can't. You can't. When Sokoro is saying, Mama nataka maziwa, akiwo yes, Sokoro. There are things you need to outgrow and get serious. That was not our subject. It is upon you to decide through choice which day of worship you want to embrace. And God will always respect our choices so much that he will allow their results to stand until the day he comes back. And I've always wondered, if God respects our choices that much, why can't you respect the choice of your husband or boyfriend? When your boyfriend says, let's quit this, respect it. My heaven is so sweet to begin dragging people along. I'm going to hang myself. He has booted me. With 2 master's degree. Hang yourself. Boyfriend has gone. How far have you gone for you to hang yourself? Respect his choice. Is he the only man? You never know what God is doing. Probably God is moving him away from you. Don't kill yourself. Don't hang yourself. Don't burn yourself because people have decided to leave you. Respect their choices. So you want to kill yourself, then you miss your boyfriend, you also miss heaven. Can't you see those things are... It's easy to know counterfeit when you compare it against the real one as revealed in God's word. You only need to check it against the word of God. Equally said, sex is a perfect gift of God, strictly within the parameters of marriage. Anything outside of marriage as defined in the word of God and not ordained by God is a counterfeit. Anything outside of marriage is a counterfeit. And so when we talk of sexual purity, on the other hand is sexual perversion, which is a counterfeit from the devil. And this include, number 1, fornication. This is sex between people who are not married to each other. And so when one person is married, it is called adultery. That's counterfeit. Belongs to the world of darkness. There's nothing to enjoy. Nothing. So when a man tells you, bye, I love you, is bye your baby? Which one? Bye is for those that are married. I don't know. Me, I call Mokoro, I call him daddy. I don't know whether it's the wrong one. We tried bye, it didn't work. I mean, how do you call your husband baby? And then you call Sokoro daddy. Who should be daddy? Who should be baby? So, when a man tells you, bye, I love you, but we are getting married. There's no difference. Whether we do it now or after marriage, there's no difference. I love you with all my heart. Last time I checked, it's either you're referring to heart, the organ that beats, or the heart, the mind. There is no heart from your waist going down. There's no heart there. If people love you with their heart and they're referring to the mind, then you need to gauge that heart based on the conversations you have with them. Read in between the lines. Know whether this is a wise man or not, based on the discussions you have. And don't close your eyes to it. That even when he's saying this which is wrong, you just accept because you've fallen in love. There is nothing in this world like falling in love. We grow in love. Read. Chances are they are contradicting themselves. Just from a conversation, and the Spirit will lead you that this is a Mokoro. This is not a serious guy. How do you just discussions about how you love each other? I like your hair. In marriage, things are tough. There are bills to be paid. And that is the notion young people have gotten into in marriage. They are just in 1 month of marriage. Marriage is falling apart because you thought he will be saying good things all the time. The landlord wants rent, 30,000 per month. If you cannot pay rent now in your month 1, how will you manage rent plus school fees in months to come? That's when someone calls you baby and you feel like they're making noise. There's serious things to be handled. Ingia kwa ndoa ukijua hakuna kutoka. Kama una mpango ya kutoka, usiingie. Na kama unataka kwenda kutafuta heaven kwa ndoa, hiyo heaven tengeneza peke yako. Usingoje utengenezewe. Tengeneza peke yako. Kienda upate hakuna, fanya nini? Tengeneza. Number 2, masturbation. I've had to counsel with numerous individuals over this sexual perversion. Masturbation. Ellen White calls it secret sin. Because it's the sin you do alone. Alone. Your trips to the bathroom are just too much for a normal human being. Because you're always looking for a private place. You are even at your workplace, your visit to the bathroom is more than an ordinary person. Normal. The urge is there. Whether you are in a matatu, you walk with blankets to cover yourself. Because you have to engage your mind and imagine. It's called solo sex. Having sex with yourself. You have to imagine it to turn on. And much of it comes when we expose ourselves to pornography. People want to be taught how to have sex in marriage. So they sit 2 huge human beings watching porn to go and experiment. For real? Your creativity is that small. This thing is not getting us anywhere. Let's bring some CDs we watch. We see if we can enjoy it. It's a secret sin that depletes vital energy and lays foundation for various diseases later in life, such as affection of the liver and lungs, neuralgia, rheumatism, affection of the spine, diseased kidneys, and cancerous humus. You think I'm a doctor? I got it from Spirit of Prophecy. Testimonies on sexual behavior. It's a whole topic on masturbation. In fact, he says, as for women, you're vulnerable to losing your head. You lose your... Unachezi. Unachezeka. Someone is correcting. Unachezeka. So you think some women who have lost their heads, they are normal? Maybe. Who knows? Pornography, number 3. Representation of sexual behavior in books, pictures, statues, motion pictures, and other media that is intended to cause sexual excitement. And today we even have child pornography. Let me tell you the problem with porn. Anything you see, anything your eyes see, is stored in your subconscious. Now, most of you could be meeting me for the first day. You'll meet me in town tomorrow. You'll be shouting, "Pastor!" You see, you can remember me because my image is stored in your what? In your subconscious. As you consistently feed on porn, there is a folder in your subconscious. It is actually labeled sex, where you store all those images you get to watch and see. It is stored here. The problem with it is, when now you're ready for marriage, you cannot enjoy sex because your standard of sex, your perception of sex is too high for a normal woman or man to meet it. Because porn introduces you to anal sex. That which God created for excretion, you want to penetrate it. For pleasure, that after some time, you're nursing infections. You keep on passing gas abnormally because it's now been enlarged. It's too big. It's not the normal size. How do you push things through behind here and say you're normal? Porn introduces you to oral sex, and I have seen children of God in groups, women, discussing how to keep that place clean to allow oral sex. The penis was meant to go down there, not in the mouth. And for you to watch it, those guys are always under the influence of drugs to be able to do those kinds of things. You want to do it normal. That thing requires you become abnormal fast. So now that you have a standard of sex, and then you meet an innocent girl from Ugenya, very innocent. The only place she knows is Lowak Girls, Maseno University. Very innocent. She closes school, she goes home. She has no idea about these things you've been watching. So now we unite you in marriage. You want to enjoy your first night. You are expecting an acrobat from the roof. She's not coming. Because your idea of sex, the standard is too high. No one can meet it. So it will move you to look for prostitutes that would allow you have anal sex because you must pay. Number 4, homosexuality. We are talking about romantic or sexual attraction or behavior between members of the same sex. Let me just ask a normal question. Now, when I meet a girl and a girl, how do we have penetration here? You use a carrot, fingers, or what? Who's saying, hey, yeah? I'm telling you what you refuse to tell our children. Yeah, we are not talking about it. The devil has now taught. That is what our children know. What do you use when you meet two women? Even when you stand in front of the other woman and see her breasts, can't she tell you this is a woman? Yeah, Joe. I think the world is going crazy. What pleasure do you find? Two men. What pleasure? How do you even excite each other? Number 5, incest. Sexual relations between people classed as being too closely related. Man to man kid. Stop harassing that girl. Thank you. It is wrong to have sex between people closely related. Look at the world where we are, where a father penetrates his own dude. What is happening to us? A cousin penetrates a cousin. An uncle penetrates a niece. What's happening? Some is even gone worse. A whole 45-year-old man penetrates a 2-month-old baby. What are you seeing down there? I have small girls, they're 3 years. So when I'm imagining, because I clean them down there, I have to keep cleaning down there. They don't know how to clean. So when they're bathed, I must clean them. So I know how down there looks like. There's nothing even that can go, not even your finger can. My finger can't even go in. How do you put a whole 15 centimeter, 6 centimeter diameter inside? And rapture the whole thing. Are you for real? How? Where do you get the strength? So when I hear on TV, 2 months old, and I'm looking at my 3-year-old, I'm imagining what was going on in the mind of this man. This man must have been taking weed, because it's only weed that makes you see small things as big. It's weed. You have no business. Let me talk to parents. Kindly stop giving your children over to people, whether they are your relatives, close how, friends. Don't. And I've said this in places I go, I don't give my children to people. If they must go, if you can't accept me, their mother, my children are not coming. Whether they're going for a sleepover, I must be part of that sleepover. So you work within my time and the program. If I'm not ready for the sleepover, but parents just give out their kids, hey, get there, dipoko, ayueyo. They get to the other side, they're introduced to porn. Someone touches them and tells them, if you speak. Because even you at home, you have not sat with your child to tell your child that these parts should not be touched. No. I've told my children, anyone ever touches you, just hit them on the nose, break it, make sure it breaks. Have you ever been on a lift in a tall building? Mumeja, alafu someone touches your butt. Then when you turn, he's just giving you this look of. And then you also say, yeah, abru kuyi lift kayo. Nitakupiga hapo ndani ya lift. Omba ulikuwa unashuka mahali karibu. Nitakupiga. Malonyi duku. Someone can touch you inappropriately and then you also smile back. Stupid. How do you allow someone to touch you and you just smile? I've told my children, someone touches you inappropriately, hit them on the nose very hard. At least by the time they are responding, you will now tell everybody this is what he was doing. But how do you let your children go for a week, a month, 2 months? You don't even bother to call. Find out. Your child wants to tell you something. You're always too busy to hear. They are talking. You don't want to listen. They could be wanting to tell you something. Do not ignore when a child runs to you with the rubbish. Just listen. You never know what they want to say. You never know. My boy loved school, Mokoro. And he's the first one to wake up, wants to go to school. I can't share another person's experience. I share mine. So this morning, for almost a week, he's reluctant to go to school. He doesn't. So I say, what is wrong? I said, mi siendi shule. So when it's morning, tumbo inauma. When we are just almost off, tumbo inauma. I said, mm-mm. So I sat him down. I said, Baba, talk to me. Uko mgonjwa? Mm-mm. Teacher alikupiga? Mm-mm. Kwa nini utaki kuenda shule? Tells me, kuna mtoto kwa shule ananipiga kila siku. Anakupiga aje? As he begins to narrate it, he's crying. Crying. Saying, Baba, kwa nini nakupiga? Ati hakuna kitu nimefanya. Tukienda kukula, napiga mimi hapa kwa kichwa. Tukitembea kwa line, ananipiga kwa kichwa. Ananiambia, nikisema, atanipiga. So the boy can't talk to anyone. So I realized there's a bully in class. These are just 5-year-old kids. So I said, this bully is not the problem. The problem might be in the bully's home. They must be having a mother or father or DM that beats him and tells him, ukisema, nitakupiga. So he's also come to implement it on Mokoro. So I said, this one I must handle on my own. I quickly get my phone. I call Mokoro's teacher. And I thank Mokoro's teacher handled it so well. So Mokoro didn't go to school for like 2 weeks. I wanted him to nurse it. Forget about it. As I went to school to handle it. And I found the teacher had handled it nicely. And the boy was told, this is Mama Nathaniel. Now tell Mama Nathaniel you're sorry. Say, I'm sorry. Today they are the best of friends. Listen to your child. Listen to your child. The father could be penetrating your child and you don't know. Listen to your child. What are they saying? When they run to you with stupid things, listen. Hey, napika. Kaa huko nipike kwanza. Chandowia kai. Diutagu baba ukuchupi. Listen to your child. It only takes, I've realized listening to them takes only a second. You just listen and they say they're stupid things and then you say, and then my twins would do. And then they run away. Is how we are bonding. Then I leave them to go. I do my things. The only conversation you can have is with your husband, and not any important one. It's about money. Those are the only discussions you consider important. Bisexuality, number 6. Sexual attraction or behavior to more than one sex. So you are attracted to a woman, you're also attracted to a man. So if you are a man, you will marry a woman for society's sake, but you have sexual intercourse with other men. So when you get to the man, how do you behave? When you get to the man, what role do you play, man or woman? Because the other side, I know it's definite you are the man. So if you're playing woman this side, how do you change your roles? Number 7, prostitution. Engaging in sexual activity for payment. This is now the worst. You just can't sell yourself. You can't. I have sat with prostitutes. Allow me to use that name to preach. Congregation like this, only prostitutes. At first, so the husband left and left her to continue. She's telling me, if you can assure me that I can have my husband back, I can quit this thing. I really want to stop it. Is that a church member? has done it for years. Young girls, kindly, don't forget what Pastor had preached. Don't forget where you have come from. If your mother is a harvester in a tea plantation at home, that is where you belong. Walk with your head high. Walk with your one pair of shoe in campus, because that is what you have. Don't let anyone entice you to 10 pairs and sell your body. Don't. Walk with yours. Shoe is a very petty thing to sell your body. Too petty. And you want a big phone to match the others that your friends have. Stay with your Kaduna until you finish school. I stayed with my Motorola C113 for many years. And it didn't stop me from meeting big congregations of who is who in this country. And when it rings, I don't run. I pick it. Hi. We have communicated. What's your problem? I don't know. I've had one pair of shoes for many years. I said, God, no one will buy me shoes. I must work hard and know the pain of buying shoes on your own. So today when I sit in my wardrobe and see 10 pairs, I know I've worked hard. Let no man lie to you with a pair of shoes, a phone. And even the young boys, there is a club in Nairobi, it's called, I wouldn't mention its name. It's along Kimathi Street, almost close to Stanley Hotel. There's a club somewhere. And I wanted to find out what goes on in that club when I was told what goes on. It's a club for the filthy rich women. You know filthy rich women? Women that you don't tongoza girl of a beach. We are only airtime of a beach. Togache to million a pargabor. How do you entice a woman who's doing a Range Rover Sport with airtime for 5,000? It's yeni. How? No, you cannot own a Range Rover Sport at about 18 million and wash it somewhere here. They have places where they're washed. Is it? Yeah. And chances are where she washes her car is about 8-10K. You come with kabambe. Let me give you airtime for 3,000. Stop stretching your luck too far. So this club is for filthy rich women. And they're targeting small boys in campus. They're called tomboys. Ben 10. They're called Ben 10. A night with a woman you get in that club is about 25,000. One night. The minute she gets hold of you, you are hers forever. She will rent you an apartment, whether you want it in Kileleshwa, Runda, wherever you want that apartment. I'm looking at my son in campus, 19 years, with a 54-year-old. And my son is driving a BMW X6. And the boy comes home with it and you're like, nilipata side hustle. Which side hustle will give you a BMW X6? Oko bikatagi moko Suzuki yango amadango dangogi. At least you can say it's a side hustle. They say, nyasaye rokamone duoko na nyathi dala e paro wa. Hey, tomagi malich manyathi no birogo. Yathi to chodogi. Minema dongo. At times, young men, I'm talking to the small boys, try and find a road that vehicles have not gone. How do you take your brand new pen and write in a book that has no cover page? How? Talk to our children. Careful with what your child is having. And I've talked to my women, work so hard that you give your daughter what another man cannot entice them with. Stop saying, hey, sisi tuko hapa. Bora maisha inasonga mbele. For real. Work so hard that someone will not entice your girl with small things. Please do. else some governor will take her to Mr. Price or Woolworths, and she'll pick a pant at 500 bob or 1,000. How much is a bra at Woolworths? About 3K. Yeah. And I tell women, work hard. Put on that bra so that some man does not lie to you. Of course, no one will know it's 3,000. You know. And your girl is used to, anytime your girl is saying, Mommy, my bras are old, you've put in her hand 150. She goes to Kibuye. Do you know even Kibuye, the Rejareja ones are no longer 50 bob. They are 100 bob. But you've given her 150. She wants 3. She goes back to school with some tattered things. If a man entices her with a bra 3K, she has picked 10, 30K. She has not done pants. She has not done her clothes. Say, baby, some old man with our county money. Work hard. Get your child that thing before another man gets it for them. Rape. Sexual intercourse carried out against a person's consent. Careful with it. Last, number 9. Strong sexual desire for someone. You see them, you already take them to the hotel room in your head. And at times a woman thinks a man loves them. They are lusting for you. Because when you are dressed half naked and a man says, hey, na unakaa poa, you think unakaa poa. You need to stay with people few years for them to say unakaa poa. Can't meet a woman day 1 because she's dressed half naked. Say, hey, na unakaa poa. Ati hata wewe pia kitu inakubamba. Umerogwa. Pia umefurahia umambo, una miguu poa. Hii miguu yako wewe hujawahi ona. They're lusting for you. Let no one go into you because of your legs. Legs go. Breasts go. Oh, you thought we were like this? These are 5 children. We were once mandazi. Today we are chapati, but we are moving on strong. These are 5 children. 5. Breastfed. These things go. So if you marry for beauty, beauty is as permanent as one night. Yeah. See, today you've looked at me, you say, Pastor is smart. So next Sabbath, if I come like this, you still say, Pastor is smart. No, it's you. It's already, you used to it in your head. That is how flimsy beauty is. So if someone married you for beauty, your marriage is as long as about 2 weeks at most. Solomon had what kind of wives? You think anybody? He was a king. Wives for the king were not any woman. They were the true specimen of beauty. But he still got to 1,000. Don't let anyone lust for your legs or your cleavage. Don't. So stop exposing it anyway. A man only needs to see your gualo and he turns on. Just here. Gualo is this. Mine are a little bit big. Here. That's all he needs, and he's on. Just cover them proper. Keep them for some man who deserves it, who will love you for who and what you are. Number 10, bestiality, sex with animals. Today we have graduated from animals to chicken. Careful with the egg you eat. You need to find out. Ni ya kuku ama ni ya karaoke. Careful with the egg you eat. Ukitaka mayai fuga kuku yako. Siku hizi mayai yote sio ya kuku. And so God's gift of sex, number 1, is within marriage. Number 2, it's between a man and his wife. And number 3, it's with the consent of the other person. Why is sex not good outside the confines of marriage? Whether you want to call it premarital sex, premarital sex, whether you want to call it extramarital affairs. Why is everyone telling us this thing is so good and we have tested and it is good? Number one, it is sin. A breach of the 7th commandment. Sin is not just breaching the law of God, transgressing the law of God. You need to know that sin hurts God. You've not just transgressed it, you have hurt him. And I think if you train your mind to accept the omnipresence of God, you will not lower your pant. And the fact that you have not trained your mind to accept that God is omnipresent, He is everywhere. At Entebbe, at Ciala, Grand Royal Swiss, Imperial, He is there. The minute you train your mind to accept I am with God, you will not lower your pant aimlessly. A thought of it, you'll tell that guy, nakuja naenda hivi kidogo na come. Number 2, when you finally get married, you will not enjoy sex. Because when you engage in sexual intercourse, we have what we call soul ties are formed. You become one with the other person. Read with me 1 Corinthians 6:16. 1 Corinthians 6:16. I'm almost done. 1 Corinthians 6:16. Says, or do you not know that he who is joined to a harlot is one body with her? We use sex to consummate marriage. And actually, this country allows you a divorce if you don't consummate it within a certain period of time. You have married this girl, she does not want to sleep with you, it's 1 month, 2 months, you are allowed a divorce. The country allows it because it's a marriage considered not consummated. Because when we go into sexual intercourse, we don't come out the same. You rip off a part of each other. It's what we call soul ties. So for as many women and men you have slept with, you have soul ties with them. Have you seen these men who sleep with you and you are at enjoyment and they say, hey, Lucy, and you are called Elizabeth? Koki moche, manong amiluongo? Koko boya wange ni nilisahau jina yako. You don't enjoy. Let me talk to my young people. You don't enjoy sex at marriage after you have tried every model of Volkswagen. You can't. But our young people want to taste and feel. How does Passat feels like? How does Jetta feels like? How does Polo feel like? Need to move to Golf. Mago ko setiyo ko wacho no do upgrade. Let me now taste Volkswagen Touran. To chomo Touareg. To donjo Tiguan. So he has a feel of all those models. The day now you want to drive your car, omanise bilo Touareg koki yudo Polo. Kati chako to ngi. Stick with one. Just stick with the one you got. At least you have no idea what the others feel. Stick with one. One like this. I know you are in a conquering game for men. And they'll sit as boys and they say, Kalen shakapitia. Apo hakuna kitu. Yeah, ule dem ni mpoa. Baridi. Be careful. No wonder God equates sex to marriage. The minute you engage in sex, heaven counts it. as marriage. Did you know that? The minute you engage in sex, heaven counts it as marriage. Exodus 22. Exodus 22. Today we want to see who's better here than the other. 22, 16, 17. If a man entices a virgin who is not betrothed, umekatia dem, alafu ukamconvince ukamweka box, na hauna intention ya kumuoa, you're not even engaged. You're not, you have no plan to marry. I've seen men that do a hit and run, and when you say, so you now get married, say, me, I didn't have plans to marry her. I salute men that marry women that have children who are hit and run, and they take care like it is theirs. God bless you. When you find that kind of a woman and you think you want to marry her, accept her with the baggage and garbage. Don't try to separate her with her child. So God had directed, if a man entices a virgin who's not betrothed and lies with her, he shall surely pay what? The bride price for her to be his what? Wife. And even if you're not ready to marry her, listen to what the Lord had commanded. If her father utterly refuses to give her to him, the girl wants you, yes, because she's already carrying a pregnancy. But the father looks at you and looks at a lousy cabbage of a man. As in Athena, don't go into marriage because you got pregnant. If her father refuses to give her to him, he shall pay money according to the bride price of what? Of virgins. It means umelipa mahari kwa boma fulani ndio auishi na yeye, lakini utakaanga ukijua hapa kuna ng'ombe nilifanya nini? Niliacha. So at times be careful when you say I am the first wife to this guy. You never know. You could be the 20th. You could be the 20th. The fact that you walked down this aisle does not qualify you as wife number 1. The guy amepitia 50 kabla yako. Bibi zake huku mbinguni. Kuna vitu zingine tutajibu Mungu ni ngumu. Soul ties are not easy to break because you've already had a taste of multiple men and women and therefore cannot enjoy sex in marriage because you keep comparing. Number 3, he finds a high sexual standard that cannot be met by anybody. Like I said, when you get into pornography, your idea of sex and perception changes. No woman will meet it. No woman at all will meet it because the image in the head is not the image on the bed. What is spinning in your mind is not the woman lying on the bed. And reconciling the two is very difficult. Very difficult. Number 4, marriage will never bring an end to fornication. If you thought you can sleep around and stop when you're married, marriage never brings an end to fornication. In fact, fornication is the prerequisite to adultery because both are outside of marriage. You just graduate. Fornication, marriage, you graduate to adultery. It's already a part of you. Sleeping around is not new to you. It's only the title that changes. Fornication to adultery. There's no guarantee that it will stop. So marriage is not sufficient to preserve you from the corrupt habits of youth. Number 5, this is serious. Evil spirits are transmitted through sex, if you didn't know. Demons are transmitted through sex. So you have a man who has a demon of adultery. And the wife is an innocent girl. They begin to stay. And then the girl from nowhere because it's a demon of adultery transferred in her. She begins to say, Dongo wuotho oko. Abe anyalo wuotho oko. That's how they reason. If he goes outside, I can also go outside. It is not her speaking. It's a demon in her. So a very innocent girl begins to go out. Demons are transmitted through sex. All forms of demons. Careful who you sleep around with. They could be possessed. And all forms of demons in them will get into you. Demons of laziness, adultery, demons of gossip, poverty. You're forever poor because you slept around. This is not a small thing. Sleeping around is not just going in and coming out. There's a lot more to it. Don't try this at home. Your family has stagnated forever because you carry those demons. Come pump them on your wife. I talk to my women. There is no good thing as being a spiritual woman because demons can't reside in that kind of a woman. So when your husband goes around sleeping, stay home on your knees, pray. When they come back with demons, they can't enter because they find a spiritually charged house. So charged, they can't. But when you're just in there, alikuwa ananipea 20,000 ya shopping, siku hizi ananipea 10. Anapeleka 10 kwa mama mwingine huko Manyata. That is all you're thinking of. He comes with them, dumps them on you. Careful. If you have a demonic matter, the better. But if you don't know who you're dealing with, careful. You might carry a curse into your home. My dear brothers, sisters, daughters, sons, fathers, mothers, I speak to you as one who knows this. And when I speak to young people, I am asking, wait till you have some just knowledge of yourself and of the world, of the bearing and character of young women and men, before you let the subject of relationships possess your thoughts. The question they ask, when is it the right time to get into a relationship? I repeat, until you have some just knowledge of yourself and of the world, of the bearing and character of the young women and men, before you let the subject of relationships possess your mind. Please. There is nothing you still don't know. You still know. There is nothing you know at high school, 16, 17, in a relationship, and they claim how they are so romantic, they love each other. I want you to use your small head of the mathematics of loci and the vectors that you have learned in class. This boy you're dating in high school, you are Form 4 and she is Form 4. Let me say all of you are just in high school. Both of you are being kept by parents. Both of you are being given pocket money. Can't your small head tell you there's nowhere he's taking you? And even for those in campus, the boy is still being funded by the father. You're funded by your father. Why do you place a big demand on your boyfriend in campus? Last time I checked, if you are a Form 4 man, high school. Your girlfriend is in adventure. Wait. The girl is still in adventure. Wait. If you are in campus, chances are she's a primary school girl. I don't even want to get into the aspects of age when it comes to marriage. Don't even bother. Tembea uone kwanza, ndio urudi utafute bibi na bwana. So we uko tu hapa Kondele, Manyata, Nyalenda, Migosi. If you ever go far, it's Obonga Utongolo. Now you say you want to get married. What have you seen? What have you seen? And the small girl is so enticed with very petty things. Mimi naitwa Jemo. Because he has seen some suit they put on while singing. Mimi naitwa Jemo. Na kana sistangu hapa Kanyakwar. I told you, listen to conversations. Amesema anakaa na sister yake. Yini kinapoki winju. Sasa mtu anakaa na sister yake anapeleka wewe wapi? Naweza kukudrop home. Kwanza kishava long tight. Zile pipe. Kishava pipe ametaki na suspender. Na bow tie. Na kakitu hapo. Ati sini kudrop. That's my pleasure. And the girl feels like if pograno nyathima fuogain. Foka be pograno nyathina mafuogain. Where are you going to with that guy? Get men who tell you, mimi naitwa Stivo, naishi hapa Nyalenda, nafanya jua kali. Akikuonesha mkono yake. Unamwambia kwanza ngoja kidogo. These are the men who know how to fend. Yeah, they're in some room, mabati 6x6. The bed is 3x6. Then he puts a table at the center. He turns like this, it is sitting room. Turns like that, it is bedroom. Turns like this, it is kitchen. There is no best life to begin like that one. Si tulianza na nini? Gazette kwa window. Nani alianza hivyo? Koruonruka. Tulianza hiyo gazette. Then you get some small money, you run to Kibuye, you buy curtain. It is not the curtain of Garissa Lodge. It is curtain Kibuye. But the fact that it has been bought compared to gazette. Hiyo siku hata kama mnakula mboga na avocado. Mko sawa. Alafu unasema nimepata pesa nyingine hapa tuongeze sufuria. You go buy sufuria. Life is so sweet and beautiful when you see each other grow. But I'm looking at a small girl. Mimi natafuta jamaa. Nataka tu nisome kidogo. Alafu nipate ka job. Nifanye tu job kidogo. Alafu nipate ka jamaa kakona do. Alafu nikuwe stay at home mom. Do not let a man or woman touch you aimlessly, even if you don't get to the ultimate. Are you listening to me, young people? Yeah, you're relating and you want to be romantic and intimate. So you allow each other boundaries. You say, okay, we can touch, but to this extent. So the man can touch you up to here. So that is what we do. He can touch you up to here. So you want to kiss, they have also defined the degree of kissing. They cannot go beyond. So every time they meet, they do those things. And they keep conditioning the body. Because every time they meet, when they get to that point, the body shuts down. It's conditioned that after some point, we don't go beyond. The body is conditioned. For the last 5 years, you've been meeting, holding each other to some point. Then the system shuts down. The day now you get married, you want to go full length. Oktimre, kichopo kanyo, stimanola. Your body has been conditioned to just end at that point. Don't let anyone touch you. Don't. If you must touch each other, then marry each other. That is what the word of the Lord says. 1 Corinthians 7. That is we only have two options. You either stay single or get married if you must touch each other. Now, concerning the things which you wrote to me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, because of sexual immorality, let each man have his own what? His own wife. So that you enjoy what you want to enjoy without any limit. You have your wife. And let each woman have her own husband. So it is simple, young people. Listen to me, it's you I'm talking to. If you must touch each other, come. We can unite you in marriage if you're ready to take care of bills. But if you know as a man you cannot even raise a child, don't be tempted to turn on the water tap if you cannot pay the bills. Don't. Chika chika. Kiwasko tikia ni bill chalna. Don't. Don't. If you think you must do what married people do, come, get married. Start a life of marriage. No one will stop you. If you're not ready for marriage, quit as soon as yesterday. Let it end today and now. As I finish with 1 Corinthians 6:18, flee from sexual immorality. Every sin that a man does is outside the body. When you steal, it is someone's property. What? It's always outside the body. You lie to people outside your body. But he who commits sexual immorality sins against his own body. We love you. We only want the best for you. Those of us that are in marriage, that are still running around, quit. Stop. Ask the Lord to give you power to suppress that evil tendency. Ask him. He will. He'll give you the power to suppress it. And you will live a normal life. Stop believing that you can't do without it. Stop. Pastor Mbago was preaching here. Christ has broken the cage, but some birds have refused to come out. They still believe, they still want to stay here. We have been given power to overcome sin. The Lord will give you the strength. He will suppress it. Just submit your life to him. He will suppress that evil tendency. Those of us that are not married, it is a no-go zone. Stop it. Yes, who told that girl, go sin no. May the Lord Jesus bless us in his holy name. Amen. Let us rise for prayer. Our Heavenly Father, it's been a privilege to learn about our families and our marriages. Ultimately, you have purposed that we can be in heaven just like the angels are in heaven. That we are meant to repopulate heaven. Heaven is repopulated by godly beings. Father, there is a sin in us that is also in the world. But your children have also bought it in their lives. Sexual immorality. But we have a higher power. The power of the Holy Spirit that works in us and through us. Suppress for us this evil tendency. Those of us that are guilty, forgive us. We confess today before you. It's not like you don't know. You know us. But Lord, we come at the foot of the cross. For that is the only reason why we should receive divine help. We pray that, Lord, you will cleanse us from all filthiness of the flesh. That we will learn to be chaste. And those of us that are in marriage, we will maintain fidelity. The bed is honorable and holy. We walk out of this place this evening, believing and trusting you have forgiven us and you have given us power to overcome. For in you, Jesus, we are more than conquerors. May your name be glorified, is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.